Another NBA season is upon us. Season 57 for the Phoenix Suns gets underway tonight in LA against the Clippers, and we're kicking it off in style with a visit from the one, the only, Sir Charles, the Hall of Famer Charles Barkley, joining us for the first time via video.
Oh, my goodness.
Good morning, Chuck.
What's happening?
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just got to Atlanta from Boston. Great night for the Celtics last night. It's a crazy energy. That team's gonna be tough to beat, man.
Yeah.
And they don't even have Porzingis. So, but great night.
Yeah, before we get to the Suns, I heard some of your comments, and you're right. If the Celtics have this kind of vibe all year, they might want to thank Team USA and Steve Kerr for that, huh?
Oh yeah. You know, if I'm with my attitude, if somebody disrespect me, you know, they said turn the other cheek. If you turn the other cheek on me, I'm gonna hit you in the other cheek if you disrespect me. I mean, hey, the way they disrespected Jason and Jalen, man, those guys, they're coming in with the right attitude. I'd be wanting to send a message to the NBA. And like I say, when they get Porzingis back, it's going to be up to the Knicks and the Sixers to raise their level because the Celtics are not going to come down.
Charles Barkley, our guest here on Bickley Marotta Mornings. Let's get to the Suns, Charles. We talked a few times last year. The Suns were a massive disappointment. They won 49 games. They get swept out. They make some substantial changes. They fire Frank Vogel, bring in Mike Budenholzer, change the makeup of their roster a little bit, and there seems to be some growing optimism. How do you feel about the Suns going into this season?
I'm cautiously optimistic. They threw Coach Vogel under the bus. They had no leadership, and they had no depth, no point guard. Same thing we talked about all year. And this year they got a point guard. They got a new coach. And I'm cautiously optimistic. But the problem they got is, man, the West is crazy. The West is flat out crazy because, you know, Zion looked like he's in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Ja looks like he's got himself together. Sacramento got better with DeMar DeRozan. The Lakers are going to be decent. I don't think they're going to be anything to write home about. But my pick coming out of the West is going to be the OKC Thunder. I'm going to pick the Thunder to win the West.
Good deep team. I take a look at the Suns, and you were right on last year. There was a significant leadership void from Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, to name the players, because they are the best players on the team. What level do they have to be better in that realm? Because I think everyone's going, well, we got a new coach now, and they like him better than Vogel, and they got a point guard, so that's going to improve the chemistry. What responsibility does Book and KD have to serve this group and to provide a better brand of leadership?
Yeah, they both got to step it up. You know, Kevin's a great player, but he says, I just want to play basketball. But he doesn't understand when you're a great player, there's a certain amount of responsibility. And this conversation we had last year, Devin has got to be the guy. Because, like I say, Kevin doesn't want it. He says, hey, I just want to play basketball. You know, he kind of bails out on the leadership and things like that. I'm hoping that Devin learns something being around Steph and LeBron and those guys over the summer, and he's going to step up because he's a quiet kid. But, you know, sometimes you can't be quiet when you're the leader of a team because everybody's leading, following you. And also you have to take all the responsibility to answer the question to the press when things are going good or bad. That's part of the responsibility. So I expect them. I'm excited for the Suns. I'm cautiously optimistic, but Devin's got to step up and be the leader, plain and simple.
Charles Barkley, our guest here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. You didn't hold your tongue. You said, look, your belief is the Suns threw Frank Vogel under the bus. They bring in Mike Budenholzer. He's modernizing the offense a little bit. One of the issues, Charles, was the lack of three-point shooting, and it was on big-time display with Boston last night. They shot 61 of them. Suns have shot more three-pointers in the preseason. They look like they're acclimating to this style. But your thoughts on Mike Budenholzer coming in rested? He's a championship-level coach. How much of a difference can he make?
Well, it's all about the players. Let's listen. Those three stars they got to do a better job of playing basketball, and we can't make it all about 3-point shooting. Mm-hmm. They had no bench, no point guard, no toughness. They didn't even have a style of play. You have to have a style of play, whether you're an offensive team, like even when they had Coach D'Antoni, they were all for defense and rebounding, but they were an offensive juggernaut.
Right.
That's a style.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a style of play. There's teams who are great defensively. That's a style of play. So you got to have a style. Like I say, they threw Coach Vogel under the bus. Not only they threw him under the bus, they backed up to make sure he was dead. Yeah, they just ran over and just like, let's make sure he's dead. Let's back up over him.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Because he survived the first time they ran over him, but they're like, no, he's not dead. Let's back up and run over him a couple more times. Guys, I really hate today's NBA players when they blame their coaches for everything. The Suns underachieved. There's no reason they should have got swept. No, come on. You cannot have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and those guys. You can never get swept. One stat that I'm very proud of, I never got swept in a 7-game series, ever. I said, ain't nobody can beat me 4 days in a row. I just never believed that. And for them to get swept, that was embarrassing. I saw the young lady, she said the Suns are definitely looking for redemption because they were not good last year. And so now the pressure switches to the players. Every time you fire a coach, they always say, okay, now it's on you guys.
Yep.
So they don't have Frank Vogel to blame. Mike Budenholzer is a good coach. I don't know him really well, but I think he's a good coach and a good guy. But it's just about the players, man.
You're a huge sports fan, and I've heard you riff, and you hate how ESPN fixates on the Lakers and the Cowboys like the rest of us. After that debut of Bronny last night, what does J.J. Redick have to do with this kid to not lose this team?
You got to send him to the G League. He's not ready to play in the NBA. I thought it was a great moment, him and LeBron being out there together. I was actually playing golf with Ken Griffey Jr. last week down in Florida. And I was like, yeah, me and my dad are flying out to Bronny. I said, oh, hell, he going to play for sure now. I said, like, whoa, they're not flying the Griffeys out there and Bronny's not playing. Hey, Vic.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you $10 million right now. There's a Nike commercial getting cut together as we speak.
I bet you're right. It.
I don't have any proof of that whatsoever, but I would bet, because I saw them all standing together but we were watching it like on a separate camera. They stood on the court standing beside each other for like 10, 15 minutes. I said, that's my guys at Nike at work. Those are I says, there's a Nike commercial coming out any day now. But listen, I'm glad the kid is healthy. He's not ready to play in the NBA. I hope because he's not going to get better sitting on the bench anyway.
Yeah.
So send him to the G League and let him get better as a player. That'd be the best situation.
Charles, before we let you go, we appreciate your time and thanks for joining us via video today. This is the first time the Suns are going into a season without the great Al McCoy as part of the organization. We lost Al about a month ago. We had a special tribute to him on our airwaves yesterday, and I know over your time associated with the Phoenix Suns, you developed a special relationship with Al. Just how will you remember the legend that was Al McCoy?
Yeah, man, that hurt me. I'll tell you something special happened, but I'll tell you something special in a minute. Man, what a good dude. I was so blessed and fortunate, and to spend time, my years in Phoenix, and obviously I saw him a lot living in Phoenix. I love living in Phoenix. I'm never leaving Phoenix alive. When I leave Phoenix, they gonna cremate my fat ass and take, my ass is so big. My ass is so big. I want some ashes in Alabama. I want some ashes in Phoenix, and I want the rest at a casino in Vegas. We just got to pick out what casino. So that's when I get cremated.
That's fantastic.
I always tell people it's so stupid to bury people, man. Get cremated and get your ashes. Like, these people make me laugh. They're like, yeah, I went to the cemetery. I'm like, for what? What did you go to the cemetery for? They're not there. Like, what? Why did you go to the cemetery?
Mm-hmm.
My friends are like, yo, man, you've never visited your mother and grandmother or your brothers. I said, because they're dead. They're not there. They're not. They're not there.
Hey, you remember when you visited us from that room in Vegas? You were, I think, in a penthouse suite, and you look down at the pool, and you're like, "It looks delicious down there." That's where you need to drop the ashes from.
Hey, I got to pick out a good casino. But I'll tell you something really cool happened to me in my life. I got a call from Eddie Johnson recently, and he said, Al McCoy wanted to talk to me before he died. And man, I welled up. He said, and Eddie, who's a great friend of mine, he said he only wanted to talk to two people and say goodbye to him. And it was me and Devin Booker. Man, I'm telling you, and it wasn't a long conversation. And he was thanking me, and I'm like, nah, man, I thank you. I thank you. But to get a call saying he wanted to talk to you and say goodbye, man, it was one of the most amazing moments of my life. And I'll never forget it. And when I hung up the phone, I actually had tears in my eyes because it was so special to me. Because, like I say, I only played in Phoenix for 4 years, but obviously I knew Al and met him at a bunch of functions. Mm-hmm. But for him to want to say goodbye to me, man, it meant the world to me. And I just want to thank his family.
Great story.
And thank him for, like I say, he said, hey, I only want to talk to you and Devin Booker. And I said, man, Devin must be, I don't know Devin that well. He's a hell of a player. He must be a great kid. But, man, when I got that call, it meant the world to me. And I just want to say thank you to Al and his family, man. It meant the world to me.
Well, thank you, Charles, for sharing that with us and our audience. And we appreciate you, as always, joining us, especially on opening day when you were in demand. Thank you so much, Charles.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Hey, listen, thanks for having me on video. I thought y'all was cheap as hell for all these years. Now you got video.
And you look good, man.
We're getting with the times, Charles.
Thank you, Charles. You're the best, brother.
Let's have a great season. Make
you too, man.
Life better in Phoenix.
You got
let's
it, baby.
do it. Thanks, Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, joining us via video today for the first time on opening day of Suns season.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.